Okay, so today we're going way back to basics
Yeah.
with something that is, I think, fundamental to being human.
Yeah.
And that is how kids, like little kids, I would say like 18 months to maybe like 5 years old,
Yeah.
how they just like explore and mess around with all the objects and the stuff around them.
Absolutely.
Like such a universal behavior. You
Yeah.
see it literally everywhere you go,
Everywhere you go.
every culture.
Yeah.
And you even see, versions of it in other mammals, like our
yeah.
primate cousins and all that.
Yeah.
So to kind of dig into this a little bit, we have a really fantastic research article called Towards a Comprehensive View of Object-Oriented Play from the Educational Psychology Review.
Great journal.
And what's really great about this is that it kind of synthesizes all the different perspectives that experts have on this seemingly simple behavior
Exactly.
of kids just like messing around with stuff.
Yeah.
So today we're going to really try to get down to the nitty-gritty of the different ways that these young ones interact with objects. Yeah.
From like a simple wooden block to a pile of dirt.
Right.
Like
Anything.
anything. How this changes as they grow and why it's actually so important
Yeah.
for how their developmental trajectory progresses.
Right.
So think of this deep dive as like a shortcut
Yeah.
to understanding this really fundamental way that young children learn.
Yeah.
So let's just imagine for a second an 18-month-old, let's call him Bobby.
Okay.
And Bobby's got a new bottle and a spoon,
Okay.
and his caregiver is right nearby.
Right.
Just watching him.
Yeah.
Now watch how Bobby interacts with these objects.
Yeah.
He's going to visually inspect the bottle.
Yeah.
He's going to rotate it in his hands.
Right.
He's going to squeeze that little nipple on the bottle.
Right.
He might even take a sip out of it.
Yeah.
And then maybe try to give it to his caregiver.
Yeah.
Or, take it apart, try
Yeah.
to twist the top off.
Yeah.
And then maybe later on he might try to put the spoon inside the bottle.
Right. And then close the bottle again and shake it and,
Yeah, just see what it sounds like.
Right.
Yeah.
So all of this seemingly mundane stuff
Right.
is actually the key focus
Yeah.
of a lot of researchers and their work.
Exactly.
And, it tells us a lot about how young brains develop.
Absolutely.
So this article kind of uses this big term,
Yeah.
object-oriented play, or OE.
Yeah. OP.
What exactly are they talking about?
Yeah. So object-oriented play, as the article defines it,
Yeah.
really it's any way that young children explore or handle objects and materials.
Yeah.
And importantly, they connect this directly to how we generally define play.
Okay.
So when a child is truly engaged in play,
Yeah.
they're usually really highly involved in what they're doing.
Right.
It's intrinsically motivated.
Yeah.
Meaning that they're doing it because they enjoy it.
Yeah.
They get pleasure from it.
Yeah.
And they have this freedom to modify or change rules as they go along.
Okay, so it's not just like zoning out.
No. Right. So real engagement.
There's some real engagement there.
Yeah.
And then they also bring up this idea of a play format.
Right.
How does that fit into this whole conversation?
Yeah, so the play format really is a way to think about that kind of engagement.
Okay.
This mode of activity
Yeah.
that has these key features that we just mentioned.
Yeah.
High involvement.
Yeah.
Following or discovering rules.
Right.
And that freedom
Oh.
to modify or change rules.
Okay.
The article stresses that OOP isn't just one type of activity.
Yeah.
It's this mode of engagement
Right.
with objects and materials
Yeah.
that can facilitate learning.
Okay, so it's not just what they're doing, but it's how they're doing it.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, you mentioned rules.
Yeah.
And in the article, they break down rules into two types.
Yes.
And I thought this was such a fascinating distinction.
Absolutely.
So what are the two types of rules?
So first, we have what are called sensory motor affordances.
Oh.
And you can think of this as what the object does physically.
Okay.
What are its properties?
Yeah.
Can it be squished?
Yeah.
Does it roll?
Yeah.
What noises does it make?
Right.
So when little Bobby squeezes that bottle's nipple
Yeah.
and milk comes out,
Yeah.
he's discovering a sensory motor affordance,
Right.
what the bottle allows him to do.
Okay, so it's like the built-in physics of the object.
Exactly.
Right. And what's the other type of rule?
The other type of rule is what's called intentional affordances.
Okay.
And this is how we as a culture
Yeah.
typically use the object.
Okay.
So a bottle is for drinking.
Yeah.
A spoon is for eating.
Right.
These are the uses we generally agree on.
Yeah.
So when Bobby then offers the bottle to his caregiver pretending to share a drink.
Yeah.
He's showing that he understands this intentional avoidance,
Okay.
a culturally understood purpose of the bottle.
Okay, so the object itself has its own, like, physical rules. And then as humans, we've built upon that
Right.
socially over, millennia.
Absolutely.
Like, okay, this is how you use this thing.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
So within this big idea of OP,
Yeah.
what are the actual things that we see kids doing with objects?
Yeah. So the article groups these behaviors into three main categories.
Okay.
First, there's what's called sensory motor exploration.
Oh, okay.
And this is what it sounds like.
Yeah.
It's the child exploring the physical characteristics of the object,
Right.
using their senses and how they can move it.
Right.
So Bobby turning that bottle over,
Yeah.
looking at it closely,
Yeah.
squeezing the nipple.
Yeah.
These are all examples of sensory motor exploration.
Right.
So he's basically figuring out what the object is
Yeah.
through his senses and actions.
Right. So just like getting to know the object on a basic level.
Exactly.
What comes next?
So next we have what's called physical manipulation.
Okay.
And this takes it a step further. It's about exploring what you can do with the objects.
Okay.
So Bobby trying to put the spoon inside the bottle
Yeah.
or trying to twist the cap off.
Yeah.
These are physical manipulations.
Okay.
He's seeing how different objects relate to each other and what actions are possible
Okay.
when you put them together.
So it's moving from just sensing to like doing things with it,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah.
And what's the third type?
So the third type is called mental manipulation.
Okay.
And this is where we start to see the very beginnings of symbolic thinking.
Okay.
So this involves things like object substitution,
Okay.
using one thing as if it were something else.
Yeah.
So while our Bobby example didn't really illustrate this specifically,
Yeah.
if he had started using the spoon as a pretend hairbrush
Yeah.
or something like that,
Right.
that would be an example of mental manipulation.
Right.
So using the object
Yeah.
as something other
As something other than what it is.
than its intended purpose.
Right. Okay. So we've got sensing and then doing and then using it kind of in our mind in this like symbolic way.
Exactly.
And the article also calls out some characteristics that you see across all these different types of behaviors.
Yes.
Right.
Right. So these would be things like repetition.
Okay.
So Bobby might squeeze that nipple over and over again,
Yeah.
or keep shaking the bottle to hear that noise.
Right.
Then there's imitation.
Okay.
So he might try to copy his caregiver
Yeah.
if they show him how to open the bottle.
Right.
And then finally, association.
Okay.
So like when he starts to connect, putting the spoon in the bottle
Yeah.
with the sound that it makes when he shakes it.
Okay.
And the article highlights these as fundamental ways
Yeah.
children learn.
Right. So OP isn't just like a random, set of behaviors.
Right.
It's actually like kids are trying to figure out
Exactly.
how the world works around them.
Yeah.
And it's not static, is it?
No, it's not.
Like, how does this change as children develop?
Right. So OOP doesn't stay the same.
Yeah.
It changes quite a bit as children grow.
Yeah.
Generally, you see a progression from that initial sensoromotor exploration
Yeah.
to more complex ways of physically handling the objects.
Yeah.
And then eventually those first little glimpses
Yeah.
of a mental manipulation
Yeah.
and symbolic play.
And are there typical like age ranges when we see these changes happening?
Yeah, so OP in general
Yeah.
peaks somewhere between 18 months
Okay.
and 3.5 years old.
Okay.
And it's interesting.
Oh, yeah.
Simple exploration, like mouthing objects, which is
Yeah.
common around 7 to 10 months of age,
Yeah.
actually becomes less frequent
Okay.
as children start engaging in more active object play.
Okay.
And that active object play itself
Yeah.
then decreases
Mhm.
between 1 and 5 years of age
Okay.
as other kinds of play become more salient or important.
Right. So like pretend play and all that.
Exactly, yeah.
Right.
And then using tools.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Yeah, that develops over a longer
Wow.
period
Okay.
from infancy into childhood.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, this isn't like a strict schedule or anything like that.
No, it's not a strict schedule.
Because every child is different.
Exactly. Every child develops at their own pace.
Right.
And the article brings up this really interesting theory
Okay.
called the overlapping waves theory,
Okay.
which is a way to kind of picture this.
Yeah.
So it means that even as children develop more sophisticated ways
Yeah.
of interacting with objects,
Yeah.
they still might go back to simpler forms
Right.
of exploration or manipulation.
Okay.
So it's like they're revisiting earlier stages
Yeah.
to really solidify their understanding
Okay.
or to try a new problem
Okay.
using a familiar approach.
Yeah.
Um, it's kind of like when you learn to ride a bike.
Yeah.
You might still wobble a little bit,
Yeah.
even after you've mostly got the hang of balancing.
Right.
Yeah.
It makes a lot of sense. You don't just suddenly stop doing one thing.
Yep.
Exactly.
When you learn how to do the next thing.
Exactly. Yeah.
And the article also talks about this shift
Right.
in how children interact with objects.
Yeah.
That starts to happen around 9 months of age.
Right.
And they call it the 9-month revolution.
Yeah, the 9-month revolution.
What's so important or significant about that shift?
So from an evolutionary psychology perspective,
Yeah.
this is a really key moment.
Okay.
It's the shift from what's called dyadic interaction,
Okay.
which is just the child and the object,
Okay.
to triadic interaction.
Okay.
Now you got the child, the object, and another person,
Yeah.
usually the caregiver.
Right.
And this is where we see joint attention becoming really important.
Okay.
So the child starts to realize
Yeah.
that they can share their focus on an object
Right.
with somebody else.
Yeah.
And they also start paying attention
Yeah.
to how other people are interacting with things.
So it's because it's much more social.
Exactly, much more social, yeah.
Right.
So how does this social aspect kind of change how children learn through OOP?
Right. So the article highlights different ways
Yeah.
that children learn
Yeah.
during these dyadic and triadic interactions.
Okay.
So in the dyadic phase,
Yeah.
when it's just the child and the object,
Right.
we see a lot of repetition.
Okay.
And from the perspective of genetic epistemology,
Okay.
this repetition helps them get used to their actions,
Okay.
basically making them more automatic
Okay.
and better understood.
Right.
We also see association,
Okay.
which, according to cultural historical psychology,
Yeah.
is really important for developing new behaviors.
Okay.
So as kids link different actions
Yeah.
with what happens afterwards,
Right.
they start to learn new things.
Okay. So they're figuring things out just through their own actions.
Right.
And then what happens when like a grown-up or caregiver gets involved?
Right. So then we see the triadic learning mechanisms
Okay.
starting to kick in.
Okay.
So there's what's called stimulus enhancement.
Okay.
And this comes from evolutionary psychology.
Yeah.
This is when adults draw attention to certain objects
Okay.
just by interacting with them.
Right.
So this can spark the child's interest
Yeah.
and make them more likely to explore that object.
Right. So like if a parent picks up a toy
Exactly.
and starts playing with it, the kid's like, oh,
Exactly.
right.
Yeah, I want that.
Now I want it.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And what else?
Then there's what's called emulation learning.
Okay.
And this is where the child watches someone else interact with an object
Right.
and focuses on what happens
Okay.
as a result of that action.
Okay.
So they might then try to achieve the same result.
Yeah.
Maybe not by copying the exact steps,
Okay.
but by doing it in their own way.
Okay.
So for instance, if they see an adult stack blocks
Yeah.
and make a tower and the tower falls down,
Yeah.
they might try to make the blocks fall down,
Right.
perhaps by pushing them over,
Yeah.
instead of stacking them high first.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
So like they see a puzzle piece go in, they're like,
You-
I need to get a puzzle piece in.
Exactly.
You're
Right.
not the right ones.
Doesn't matter.
Not in the same way.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And then there's imitative learning,
Right. And then finally there's imitative learning.
which is much more direct.
Right. This is much more direct.
Right.
This is where the child actually directly copies
Yeah.
the actions that they see someone else doing.
Yeah.
And the goal here is to achieve the same result.
Right.
They're not just interested in what happens. They're actually trying to reproduce the steps.
Right.
And the article mentions this really fascinating human tendency to
Yeah.
over-imitate.
Right.
So copying even actions that don't seem necessary.
Yeah. Like copying all the superfluous stuff.
Exactly, yeah. All the silly stuff.
It's so interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've talked about like what OOP is.
And like how it kind of changes over time.
Right.
Now for the really important question.
Yeah.
Why does any of this even matter?
Right.
What is the developmental value
Exactly what is the value?
of OOP
Yeah.
for children?
Yeah, this is where it gets really fascinating.
Yeah.
The article emphasizes that OOP has an impact on a variety of different developmental domains.
Okay.
So let's start with how it affects thinking and learning,
Okay.
what we call cognitive development.
Okay.
OOP is really fundamental for developing what are called schemes in genetic epistemology,
Okay.
or psychological tools in cultural historical psychology.
Okay.
And these are mental frameworks
Yeah.
that help children understand and organize information
Right.
about the world.
Right.
So by actively interacting with objects,
Yeah.
they're building these basic cognitive structures.
Okay.
So when Bobby repeatedly tries to put that spoon in the bottle,
Yeah.
he might be building a scheme
Okay.
for how objects can contain other objects.
Right. So every time they interact with something, they're adding to that toolkit.
Exactly. Adding to the toolkit.
That's how the world works.
Yeah.
So what else does OOP do for cognitive development?
Another big area is language learning.
Okay.
As children explore objects,
Yeah.
they naturally start to learn the names
Yeah.
of those objects and what they're like.
Right.
This is especially true during those moments of joint attention
Okay.
with their caregivers.
Right.
So when a child and an adult are both looking at and touching a ball,
Yeah.
it creates this really clear situation
Yeah.
for understanding the word ball
Yeah.
and what it feels like, what it does.
Yeah.
The article even mentions studies
Okay.
that have connected object exploration
Yeah.
to how well children develop language
Yeah.
related to space and location.
Wow, that's really interesting.
Isn't that fascinating?
Like their actual physical exploration is helping them to understand language about location.
Exactly.
Wow, that's amazing. And what about like more abstract thought?
Yeah, so OOP,
Yeah.
especially that mental manipulation we talked about earlier,
Yeah.
is a really important step
Yeah.
towards symbolic thinking.
Okay.
So when a child starts using a block as a pretend telephone,
Yeah.
they're engaging in object substitution,
Right.
which is a key precursor to pretend play
Right.
and more abstract ways of thinking.
So like banging blocks together is like a step towards having a tea party
Exactly.
later on.
Exactly.
Yeah. And what about social and emotional development?
Yeah, so OOP also plays a big role there.
Okay.
From a cultural, historical psychology perspective,
Yeah.
OP helps to build a foundation for social and emotional stability.
Okay.
Learning to share attention
Yeah.
and interact with other people around objects
Yeah.
is a really basic social skill.
Right.
And from an evolutionary standpoint,
Yeah.
learning to use the tools
Yeah.
that our culture uses
Right.
is crucial for human adaptation.
Right.
And cumulative cultural evolution.
Right. Like how we build upon knowledge.
Exactly, how we
Yeah.
pass on knowledge and skills.
Right.
Plus, OOP is also a really powerful way
Yeah.
that children communicate socially
Yeah.
before they have a lot of words.
Right.
So think about little Bobby offering the bottle to his caregiver.
Yeah.
That's a social gesture.
Right.
Using an object,
Right. It's like the object becomes the medium.
exactly the medium for communication.
Right.
Yeah.
What about like straight up like physical development?
Right, so sensor-motor development
Yeah.
also gets a big boost from OOP-PT.
Okay.
So these activities, like the repeated actions and manipulations
Yeah.
that Piaget described as circular reactions,
Right.
these are all about practicing and getting better
Yeah.
at using their bodies.
Right.
And as the article points out, there's kind of this back and forth
Okay.
as their motor skills improve,
Yeah.
like their ability to grasp things, to reach, to walk.
Yeah. Yeah.
They have more opportunities for OOP,
Right.
which in turn helps them refine those motor skills even further.
Right. So it all kind of feeds into itself.
All feeds into itself, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we've talked about all these big like areas of development.
Yeah.
Are there other more immediate benefits?
Yeah. So the article also points out some more immediate outcomes
Okay.
of OP.
Okay.
So through OIP, children are figuring out
Yeah.
those sensory motor and intentional affordances
Right.
we discussed earlier.
Yeah.
So what objects can do
Yeah.
and how we use them.
Yeah.
They're also getting practice using the skills and the mental frameworks that they've
Okay.
already developed.
Right.
And they're also encountering and learning to follow
Yeah.
different kinds of rules.
Right.
So physical rules like gravity,
Yeah.
things fall down.
Right.
Technical rules,
Yeah.
so like how a toy works.
Right.
Social rules, like sharing, conceptual
Mhm.
rules.
Yeah.
What makes something a car.
Right.
And even the very beginnings of strategic rules.
Right. Right.
So it's this constant process of discovery.
Yeah, it's like they're just constantly like running experiments
So
and
it's these-
figuring out what the rules are of the game.
Absolutely, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And we talked a little bit about the evolutionary importance of this.
Yeah.
Can we dig into that a little bit more? Because it's kind of wild
Yeah. It is kind of wild
to think of this.
when you think about it.
Yeah.
That, this behavior that's so natural
Yeah.
and seemingly universal in young children
Right.
and even other mammals
Yeah.
has stuck around
Yeah.
for so long
Right.
because it's so beneficial for survival.
Right. Like there must be some kind of evolutionary advantage.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right.
Like, think about it. These
Yeah.
activities,
Yeah.
exploring, playing with objects,
Yeah.
learning to use tools,
Right.
it takes time
Yeah.
and energy.
Yeah, it's not free.
It's not free.
Right.
Um, so there have to be some pretty significant advantages.
Right.
And the article suggests that OOP has been retained
Yeah.
through evolution
Yeah.
because the benefits,
Yeah.
which are things like gathering information about their environment,
Right.
practicing important motor skills,
Right.
developing new behaviors,
Yeah.
and learning to use tools,
Yeah.
and stimulating their thinking,
Yeah.
ultimately make them more likely
Right.
to survive and adapt.
So even a kid bang a spoon on the table
Exactly.
is participating in something that has deep evolutionary roots
Right.
to like survival.
Yeah, that's a pretty powerful insight.
It's wild.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've gone really deep into OP.
Yeah.
Let's just try to like bring together
Yeah,
the key takeaways.
absolutely.
OP is a fundamental way that kids learn about their world
Exactly.
through their active engagement with objects.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
It progresses from this like simple exploration to more complex manipulation.
Right.
And even like, the beginnings of symbolic thought.
Right.
And it's driven by, various different learning mechanisms like repetition and imitation and social learning.
Right.
And it's not just affecting one thing, like
Yeah.
it's really impacting
Yeah, it affects
all
everything.
these huge domains of their development.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's not just cognitive.
Right.
It's social and emotional.
Yeah.
It's physical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for you, the listener,
Yeah.
understanding all of this
Yeah.
really, I think, gives you a much deeper appreciation
I think so.
for how important play is
Yeah.
in early childhood,
Absolutely.
and how these seemingly like very simple interactions
Yeah.
are actually full of like tons and tons of learning.
Right. They're so rich
Right.
with learning opportunities.
It's really remarkable.
Yeah.
So, something to think about maybe is like,
Yeah.
what are the environments and opportunities that you see around you for
Yeah.
young children
Right.
to engage in this kind of object-oriented play?
Yeah.
Are there ways that you think you could encourage deeper exploration and manipulation?
That could further support their learning and development.
Absolutely.
And what rules of the world
Yeah.
do you think that they are actively discovering
Right.
through their play right now?
That's a great question to think about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, if you're interested in learning more about this,
Yeah.
we definitely recommend checking out the review article
Absolutely.
towards a comprehensive view of object-oriented play,
Yeah.
or, even looking into other research on
Right.
child development
Yeah,
and play.
There's a whole world of fascinating information out there.
There is.